안녕하세요. You're listening to 4 from On One podcast.
To 4 from On One podcast, episode 34. We are in the middle of rainy season. It's just the two of us today. Gio, how are you, buddy?
Good, man. It's raining cats and dogs.
It is
right now.
I thought last week was the rainy season starting and gone. I was like, "Ooh, we got off lightly this year," but nope.
Yeah.
Today it just bucketed down. Luckily, like in the morning, I was tempted to ride my bike to school because it was just spitting down. I thought maybe I could ride my bike, just wear a rain jacket. I'll be okay. But coming home, I would have got drenched.
I did ride my bike today.
Yeah,
I rode it.
Really?
I brought the umbrella though. Let's put it this way. By the time I got home, there was no point in even opening up the damn thing.
Yeah.
Everything was soaked except my hair and my face. Like I must look like a crazy person just laughing the whole way home because I just kept telling myself, at least my hair and face are dry. And I just cracked myself up.
And even here,
like
that sounds a bit of a breeze. So my umbrella's crap. I've had my umbrella for like 3 years and it's like small, and I don't usually use umbrellas. Like I always try to get away without using it. And it would just blow the umbrella away. So I was drenched, like the puddles in the path are huge.
Yeah.
And it was just a waste of time. But I'm pretty happy I didn't ride my bike.
Yeah. We're supposed to get like rain like every single day this next week. Well, so it's typhoon season, so
I think this is rainy season, a couple of weeks.
Summer is officially here. Officially, according to me, since we passed the summer equinox, the summer solstice, if you will, on the 21st of June.
Yeah.
Which was my birthday.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about your birthday. That was a good day. I have some regrets from that night, but let's go through it. So that day was also my baseball league's, our old baseball, you and Hokchen game as well. You alumni. I think alumni is that the right word? Alumni can come alumni? Back and can come back and support the league. And so we had our end of season party in Sinchon.
Sinchon.
Yeah, Sinchon. Yep. I don't know. I was going to say Sokcho. I think because I'm researching Sokcho at the moment for my summer vacation. Yeah,
I wouldn't have gone if it was in Sokcho. I would not make the 5-hour drive.
It's probably it's still a good party area, but it's probably what 4th or 5th on the list of places to go. You got Itaewon, Hongdae, Gangnam.
It's probably pretty much up there. It's like it's a stopover from Hongdae. So all the college students flock there. It's a hot area. Yeah.
It's not far from Hongdae, but it's probably 4th on the party areas. I could do this today because maybe we upload the video. But but there's also it's a great fun area. They had a bit of a French festival going on, and we're going to talk about festivals today. We're going to talk about birthdays. We're going to talk about Gio being a father and talking about Father's Day and my father. So we got a few topics to cover this podcast here in Korea.
Yes.
Gio, so the birthday, you came and joined me at 3:00. I think we started drinking at 3:00. I didn't.
You guys started pretty early. I got there just around 2:30ish, and because the event officially started at 3.
Yeah.
And then from there, once everybody started to come, we just kept drinking. Drinking some more.
Yeah.
And when the food started to roll out, I was like, thank goodness, because I'm drinking on an empty stomach and I was feeling a little woozy.
Yeah.
From all the birthday shots. And then afterward, that's when the fun started to happen.
Yeah.
Afterward, we left around maybe 6 o'clock, and I thought, all right, let's get some Semel Shikdang, which is my favorite Korean restaurant of all time, and my buddy Jeffrey talked about that too. But it's basically our favorite place. But I remember just being so full from the food that we just had, but I thought I have to have it anyway because we don't have them in Ilsan anymore since they closed down. So from there, after our dinner, we decided to take it to a noraebang, to the karaoke room. God knows the last time I was ever at a noraebang. I don't remember. It was like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you.
It's probably
and it started with a small group. There was probably 4 or 5 of us. And then it grew to 8 or 9 people. And it was just kind of fun. Whoa. If you guys saw the photo on Instagram, they're hilarious. Like there's one of you, Keith. I shared it where you're shouting into the mic, like you look so angry, like you're so into the song. You're just like, It's hilarious. But
I used to be really shy. Like when I first, even on cruise ships, we did karaoke sometimes. I never sang. And then my first Nurabang here, it was just me and my coworker and a couple of Korean teachers. We went and did it. I'm like, no, I'm not good at singing. No. Now I just let rip, just give it a go. But let's the barbecue. The barbecue was really good actually. Like you, I wasn't hungry, but I miss barbecue because I'm living solo here. There's a lot of good barbecue joints here in Namyeonju, but it's a bit hard to go to a barbecue restaurant alone. Have you ever gone to a barbecue restaurant alone? Can't go in a
No,
barbecue
that's
restaurant
sad.
alone.
That's sad.
It is
Yeah.
sad, ain't it?
It's sad. No, because they turn you away because they tell you to bring more people in.
Yeah.
It's a lot for one person. Yeah. It's a shame that they still kind of have that.
Even if you want to pay for 2 people, they still give you the dirty look. Yeah.
I'll pay for 2-3 people, but yeah, they're like, no. Adios, muchacho.
Yeah, I actually before drinking, I saw Taco Bell because Hokjun told us that Taco Bell's gone. And I was like, oh, there's Taco Bell. Because I saw some ads on Instagram and I went in and I just got one shrimp taco. What a waste of money. Like, sorry. I'm sure there might be other good Taco Bell options. But $5 for 2 fake. I'm not going to say fake, but it wasn't good. It wasn't worth the money. I should have just waited or probably get a better meal. But
pseudo shrimp.
So there is Taco Bell here in Korea, and I'm not saying it's bad. I just had one shrimp taco, and it didn't fill me up.
They're gonna come find you, Keith.
Yeah.
They're gonna come find you now. Like, oops.
You don't want to sponsor us, Taco Bell? Okay. All right. Yeah, and the Nurabang, same with you. Like for 2 years, I haven't done Nurabang for forever. It was so much fun. It was quite
good vibes all around.
Like it was down in Sinchon and it was up on the 3rd level or 4th level. It was big Nurabang, yeah. It was
pretty big. We had a pretty big room.
Mm.
And the food, they brought food in. I can't remember last time I actually had food in an Nurabang. The food just kept coming because I think we had to pay extra for that.
Yeah,
it was really good stuff. Even though we were eating and drinking all night, they just kept bringing it in. It was really, really delicious.
Yeah, we have to talk to Hokjun how it all works because I've done that in Daejeon. In Daejeon, we'd go to a baseball game in Daejeon. Then we'll go to this Nurabang. The first time, I don't know if I paid or I don't know what happened. But I was like, that was awesome. That was amazing. And then the second time we went back there again, I was like, oh, that's very expensive. That's a lot of money. We got all the tonkatsu, we got the ramen, we got the bingsu, we got all the side dishes and big pots of beers. And that's sort of same as what happened in Sinchon. And then later, I left some money on the table and Hokjun sent us the bill. It got quite expensive, yeah.
It got pretty expensive. I was surprised I got a bill as a birthday boy. It's the first time I ever had to pay anything on my birthday. And I was very surprised, but it must be a Korean thing. But yeah, I remember you left a couple bucks on the table.
Yeah. Well, what songs did you sing that night? Do you remember?
Dear God, I always start with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I think I busted out a little bit of Backstreet Boys. I try to keep it 90s.
Yeah.
And I remember singing a little bit of, I don't think it was Queen. It was Journey. Because I remember by the end of the night, my voice was shot. It was gone.
Yeah.
Thought, all right, time for me to head out.
I was very random throughout my selections. I always got a core of like 5 songs I can sing because I'm not very good at singing. But I don't know the words of songs. Even like Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. I love that song. And every time I choose that song, I'm like, I don't know the words. I don't know these words. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
I love that song, and I think I know the chorus, and I pump the chorus up, and then it goes through the non-chorus bits. And I'm like, oh, I don't know these words.
Yeah.
But I think I did Wonderwall. I did a Blink-182 song, maybe All the Small Things. I did Titanic song. I finished on the Titanic song. I think.
Oh, that's right. You did do that. My Heart Will Go On. That's right.
And then I made a runner, and that's my regret. I regret I should have just stayed the night. I think Hokjun offered me his place because I left.
You should have stayed.
Yeah, I left.
You and I left at the same time, like 11:20ish.
10 minutes too late or 20 minutes too late because I caught my train towards what a normal train and it stopped halfway. It was always going to stop there, but I thought I could get a bus or something or a cacao taxi. It was dead. Like I couldn't get a cacao taxi. I couldn't get a bus.
Ooh.
So I walked for an hour and then eventually I came across a red bus line and eventually I got home. Well, I got to
walk for an hour.
Yeah, and then I caught the bus for like 30 minutes and then I had to catch a taxi. It was a disaster. Not a disaster, but I was sort of happy I got home because I heard those boys partied to like 5 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I regret not staying out.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So just like let people
I
know.
left like just when you did.
It's good to know that for me. Like I always thought the public transport does stop at pretty early time, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock on a Saturday night. But there are buses, there are night buses, but they're not the usual buses. Finding these stops is use Naver, and it does tell you the details, but yeah,
That's what I did.
I was
Jumped
drunk
on my
and very
bus like
confused what
right
to
away.
do. I even thought about like trying to rent
Yeah.
one of those scooters, like the government, like the company
Oh my
scooters.
God.
Like I was so
Take
confused how to get home, and then I was
one
like,
of those right then all the
I'll
way
just walk
home from
home.
Shincheon.
And then at one stage, I was like, oh, just get a hotel. Where's a
Yeah.
hotel? I'll get any hotel. I don't care how much it costs. And yeah, it was a bit of a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the
He
next
went
day I
through
was happy I was
seven
home because
stages of like anger and stuff like that. It's hilarious.
yeah, I don't like I don't like sleeping at someone's house, and then I usually always wake up first and I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And like I could just, I'm sure Hokchung wouldn't care, but I could just left his house and go get breakfast and leave. But you know, like I always feel weird staying at someone's house. Like you used to couch surfing, yeah. Didn't you ever find that?
I've always just had positive experiences because it would be just me. It'd be like hosting like 3-4 people. So we kind of just get up, lounge, make some coffee, make breakfast for everybody, just kind of sit and chat and talk about the night before. It just really depends. But I didn't have any of the drama that you went through. Like, dear God, like I left. If anything, I was lost maybe like 2 minutes because I just had to get my bearings down. And once I found which way was east, I ran to the bus stop and hopped on as it pulled up. And it was about maybe a 30 to 40-minute bus ride.
Yeah.
I remember sitting right in the front row, and I passed out. Like I was lucky. Like I woke up just in the nick of time, just as we were arriving at my stop. So I got home just after midnight, but I didn't have a hangover the following morning. So I was just kind of like, all right, yeah.
I think we said this tip before. If you're here in Seoul, especially if you're in the outskirts of Seoul or Gyeonggi provinces, find out what the last train. They've actually jacked up the last train time. I saw it between 12 and 1, or like buses 12 to 1, but it used to be a lot shorter than that. I find out because you got 3 options: party all night, go to a hotel, Jinjabang, or or get
my old ass would just be at a hotel. I'm way too old to
let's
stay
talk
up
about you're a father, and in America it's Father's Day. In Australia it's in September, but in America it was Father's Day.
That's right. So so Saturday was the birthday. Sunday is no Parents Day. Remember, it's in May. That's right. They do everything in May, the family month. So the following day, that's why I didn't want to get too buck wild, because I knew I wanted to be alive on Sunday, on Father's Day, to spend with my family. So if there are any fathers out there, especially American dads, I want to take this day to say happy belated Father's Day to you all. You are awesome and you rock. Sunday morning was wonderful. We woke up I woke up at a decent time. We all kind of just slept until about 9 o'clock, and then I took the girls out for brunch. Well, the children too, not just girls. Gianna too. I took the family out for brunch. We went to our favorite place called Like, not too far from our place. And the weather wasn't really that nice. It wasn't really sunny or anything. So afterward, we just went back home. We ordered 2 inflatable pools online, and so we kind of just blew them up in our backyard and kind of just went swimming. Kept it very chill.
After this rainy season, you're going to want those pools.
That was my Father's Day.
It's going to get very humid,
Yeah. I almost jumped in my pool today. Like I was just soaked in sweat already and just drenched from the rain. I just thought, the hell with it. Let me just go out there and just sit in the pool for a little bit.
When he says his pool, it's not a big, massive pool. It's a little inflatable.
It's literally 140 centimeters across. Yeah, a kiddie pool.
That might add $10,000 to your apartment, by the way. That pool, that's good property.
It's really nice. It takes a lot just to fill it up. It's gonna jack up my water bill, if anything. But because we're talking about Father's Day,
is there any traditions like growing up in America, in Chicago, you did with your father on Father's Day, or any sort of memories you have?
Well, growing up in the 90s, my brother and I would always chip in some money and get my dad a tie. He was working at corporate America. He's still a tie. Yeah, he still does to this day. Every Father's Day would always be a tie. Get a tie for dad.
Would it be like a comic tie, or like you try to be fashionable tie,
or a card? But I think a little bit of both. Like for the most part, they were kind of fashionable. The stripe, the polka dots, whatever matched. I don't think it was too comical.
Yeah.
And then the older we got, once we started getting jobs, making our own money, the more we realized what our dad's interests were. We would get him like little toys because he would always like those little like RC, little RC cars or little RC helicopters, just little things just to fly around. Those are kind of like his hobbies. He really enjoys those.
Yeah.
So last year I got him one of those helicopters for him to fly around.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do
so
for your dad
as you were
for
saying,
Mother's
like should in Korea they do Parents' Day, so it's not Mother's Day, Father's Day, it's Parents' Day. In Australia, our Mother's Day actually was the same day as your Mother's Day, but our Father's Day is the
Day?
first weekend in September, I think, unless it's been changed, which wouldn't surprise me.
Who knows? Yeah.
But in Australia, I remember as a kid in primary school, every Mother's Day and Father's Day, they set up a little fair in the school hall, and we get like $5 and go buy something for our mother or dad. And that's what I
Okay.
used to do. Like there used to be some arts and crafts, maybe some locals that made these arts and crafts, donated them or got a deal, whatever, and we used to buy them. And nothing really amazing, but yeah. What any great memories you have with your father? Like, what do you have? Any memories with your father that you want to give to your kids?
One stands out. Well, this one actually happened recently. I'll start with this one because it's the most memorable one.
Yeah.
It was actually the time that I surprised my family the day we announced that they were actually going to be grandparents.
Yeah.
This one will always be in my mind. So I'm one for surprises. I'm not sure if I told you the story, but it was actually on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I got my mom this fake scratching lottery ticket that when you match, you scratch the grand prize, but in the grand prize, it has the announcement, we're having a baby, right?
Yeah.
So as she's talking, we're at this little Italian restaurant in Chicago and sitting on the patio. It's a beautiful day. And she's talking, we're having our pasta, drinking some wine. I'm like, here, Mom, happy Mother's Day. Here's this little card, here's a little scratching ticket. So we're talking, she scratches it. And as it's starting to reveal the message little by little, the entire time she keeps shouting, no, this is amazing. So she stands up and starts crying. And then I stand up and I shout, you're gonna be a grandma, like that, right? And the whole restaurant just starts to applaud us, right? So my mom starts crying, she runs over, gives a big hug. And then look over my dad. And my dad hasn't moved, right? He's sitting there, just sitting still. And I've only seen my dad cry maybe 2 times my entire life.
Yeah.
The first was when I actually left to Korea 10 years ago, but he didn't really cry. Like he stood there. My mom was crying. He just kind of stood there because he had to be the strong one. And I remember he kind of just like shook my hand and just gave me a hug, but didn't say anything. He just kind of stayed silent. You could kind of see the tears building in his eyes, just kind of like when you get that knot in your throat.
Yeah.
So that counts as crying. And then the second time was this moment. So he's sitting there and then he takes off his glasses, places them on the table, and he just takes his palms and just puts them over his eyes. And he just sits there. And I thought, wow, he's crying. Like this is a moment. And then he comes back and his eyes are all red and he says, nothing in life matters anymore except this child. Like, every little thing that we worried about means nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Like this changes, he says, this changes everything. And yeah, and then we celebrated. But growing up as a kid, though, as far as like memories of my dad, like he taught us like so many things. Like the biggest thing I always kind of lived with, he says, whenever you're faced with a decision in life, I'm not always going to be there, but just remember my voice in the back of your head. Like, is this a good decision, right? Is this something you're going to regret and face many consequences down the road? Like, always make sure like you're Jiminy Cricket, like I'm your conscience in the back of your head, right? Yeah. And I kind of lived through that. Like, all right, if I'm going to do something stupid, what would my dad think? If I ever got arrested, like my dad would be the first thing I think of, like, oh my God, he's gonna get in trouble with the law, nothing like that. I've always kind of stayed on the straight and narrow path.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. My dad's saying, like, I remember my dad, he worked hard, like he worked very hard. He would leave in the morning before we got up. He'd get home in the nighttime. Yeah. And like I used to, it was me and my brother, and there's quite a big gap to my youngest brother and sister. So for majority of the time, it's just me and my brother, 2 siblings, two kids. And he worked hard. And I used to play a lot of sports. I played soccer, hockey, baseball, tennis. and mum used to transport us around. And then dad, on Saturdays, sometimes he would have to work all Saturday, or sometimes he didn't. And whenever he got the Saturday off, let's go to the park and kick the ball. And we go to the park. So it was always awesome to spend time with dad. I didn't never appreciated how hard my dad works. Like he works 6 days hard, even on the Sunday. Sometimes he worked as an accountant, as working for others. So he always had to do what he was told. And he worked his butt off, and he got us a good house. So they actually built the house. Actually, a couple of months before I was born, I was the oldest, and they built this house in a new suburb in southern Sydney. And yeah, so I'm very proud of what my dad did for our family. And yeah, so he's always a good man, and he never smoked, never did drugs. He drank, and I drank. So I've never smoked, I've never done drugs, and I drink. He doesn't like Vegemite. I don't like Vegemite, so I've copied my dad a lot on a lot of things. So it's funny.
That's nice.
But any sort of as you, maybe because we're teachers as well, we've experienced a lot of kids in our lives, and anything that you want to, like, any not rules or traits you want to pass on to your kids, like this is what you have to do, or what maybe you should do, or do you have anything in mind?
Cleanliness.
Can you teach me
Being
that one?
Clean. Yeah. No, my dad, super clean.
Yeah.
Very clean. A little beyond OCD.
Yeah.
I want to say mental illness, but everything really just he's very anal about certain things, the way things are done. And I'm the same way. I'm an exact carbon copy of my dad. I see it with Sophie. Like, she cleans up after herself. She helps around the house. She helps clean. She's very conscious of those things. And that's all. As long as she's a good person, she treats people well, fairly, doesn't look down upon anybody, doesn't feel like she's above anybody else. That's all I can do.
Do you think that's easier, like the cleanliness of a kid cleaning up their toys? Because I ask the kids, like, we always, one of our English topics is always chores, and do you clean up your toys?
Sure.
In Australia, like, I don't know what you lived in, but in Australia we had houses, big houses. That's just a common thing. So you could have a playroom, and there's just toys everywhere. So I didn't clean them up. Like, the toys would just stay out there for a while.
That wouldn't be allowed in my house.
But Korean apartments, they're so small, you have to clean up after this. Like, the kids have to, like, that's your living room. That's your
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I've seen some messy places to where the kids' toys dominated the house. Yeah. It's like, who lives here? The kid or the parents? Who's in charge? Get that kid. He walks now. Tell him to go pick up his toys and put them away. What are you doing? You're letting them walk all over you. It starts with the parents, Keith.
Yeah.
It starts with the parents.
Noted. I'll note these notes.
No, I'm strict when it comes to that. Even my kids at school, after they finish their lunch, I don't clean those tables. I don't clean the chairs and the floor. They clean it. They keep our classroom tidy. They know better now. We got rules.
What about with your daughter and son being, obviously your wife's Korean and you're American, speaking English? How do you go? What's your sort of philosophy with the languages? Do you want them to learn both, or how does that go? Well, you don't speak Korean, so
that's an excellent question. So when Sophie was born in the States back in 2018, So Young only spoke Korean to Sophie, right? Because she knew in our home, she would only just be speaking Korean, because every time she left, whether she go to the store with her family or our family, my parents, English was just going to be everywhere. Well, now vice versa. Now we're here. We only speak English at home with our children. And Sophie speaks Korean at school with my in-laws, wherever she goes outside. So
what would be
kind of our philosophy?
Best language at the moment? Like, what's she dominant at?
See, that's what I thought that Sophie's Korean was like great, because obviously I don't know any. So I think it sounds, flawless. But Sophie, you could tell, I'm sorry, So Young with the so's, right? So Young always explains that her Sophie's English is a little bit stronger. Just sometimes, well, she'll speak Korean, doesn't really matter in Egypt. Like, she feels, I guess, more comfortable speaking English. And I guess when students kind of speak Korean to her, she doesn't really want to respond. So that's kind of something we work on. I know when I spoke with other dads who are living here with Korean wife, they kind of do one parent, one language concept, where the dad will only speak English and the mom will only speak Korean. But we don't want to do that. We like our system. We think Sophie's just fine the way she
Yeah,
is.
she's quite young. How old is she?
She's 3.
3. Yeah,
She's 3.
that's
She'll
so
be
young.
4 in December. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
And
I've
she's
met
so
like some
smart.
such clever kids especially when I was ski instructing and also at working on cruise ships. Like I've had kids that learned 4 or 5 languages by 3, 4 years old. Like some Russian kids that learned German, French, English, Russian, and they could speak all these fluent.
They don't play over there.
Oh my
They
God, so impressed. And like
What are
I've
they called?
tried
Polyglots? Yeah.
I've tried to learn German, I've tried to learn Spanish, like all in my older generation. Because in school, I don't know what it was like in America. In school, we did a little bit of Italian once every month in elementary school, I think. And then in high school, I did learn a bit of German. We do maybe 1 or 2 lessons a week or fortnight, 2 weeks. So I did German up until year 10, maybe a little bit of term of French but language wasn't, I didn't pick a language to be a dominant subject. So I didn't learn it. So when I went into Germany in my 20s and tried to learn Spanish, because I had a couple of ex-Spanish girlfriends, so I tried to learn Spanish there.
Okay, Casanova.
Failed. And then here in Korea, I'm failing too. So yeah, if I was to have kids, I want them to learn that second language early in their life. I don't know. It depends, obviously, what nationality the
your significant other would be. Yeah.
If I find that.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know, Spanish or Italian, one of those ones, because they seem to cross across many languages. Like Spanish, you can do Portuguese, Italian, Romanian.
What's that Latin branch? Is it not? It all comes from Latin.
Yeah.
Those,
Or if you want to be very savvy, maybe Chinese, because then Mandarin or something. Because
good luck with that.
That's where the money is.
That's where the money is. Yeah.
Tough, though. What about sports or interest? Are you trying to push any interests onto your kids?
Sophie, really, like ever since, have you ever seen West Side Story? The original one?
I know what it is, but I've never seen version. It. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you didn't know, they came out with another one, the more recent one in 2021.
Yeah.
And she is just obsessed with the song America, if you know that one. But there's a wonderful dance sequence in it. And every single time that we watch YouTube, she wants to watch that dance scene over and over again. So she'll run to her room, throw on her dress, and she just starts dancing, tries to get the choreography down. And so I tell someone, like, why don't we just put her like in dance school? Like, I would love for her to be a dancer. If that's what she wants to do, pursue it. I'm not going to be one of those dads that's just going to force my kid to do things because I want them to do it. I would have, as a kid, I would have loved to have learned an instrument. I would love to learn the piano or even the trumpet. I think that would have been amazing. Even learning like even the guitar, just something. I wish we did some extracurricular activities. I did sports just like you. I did volleyball. I did field and track in high school. I had a blast with that.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish I took on more. But I don't know about you. I started working early. I think I had my first job when I was 15 or 16 years old. So I was balancing high school sports and a job.
Yeah.
But I was a busy kid. I was always hungry just to kind of grow up and make my own money at an early age. So that's for my dad pushing, hard work.
And what about we're so young, and I know with the Korean kids, you ask them, they all want to be doctors or dentists or
K-pop stars,
or YouTubers. But their parents want them to be doctors or high profile jobs. What about you guys? Do you have a job that you want your daughter to be or son to be?
Not really. I don't know. I mean, Gianno's only 70 days old. The only thing he knows is just goo goo gaga, if that. I wish them both well. I would, I don't know, if anything, I'd like Sophie's such a people person. I could see her doing anything with like tourism, or like a concierge, or maybe a diplomat, something that she could travel, especially she could be fluent in both languages.
Yeah,
she's very friendly. She can talk to anybody. She's not afraid of strangers. She says hello to everybody. Anytime we go outside, I have that little seat for her on my bike, the front of my bike.
Yeah.
And people just see her, they just adore, like, oh yeah, Buddha, hello. They're always trying to talk to her. And she just kind of waves back and smiles. So she's gonna have charisma, this girl.
That's good. Yeah, definitely learning language is cool. Like, I've said it many times. It's my biggest regret the last 5 years here in Korea. I'm going to Vietnam in October. I've already started watching some YouTube videos about Vietnam words and stuff because I don't want to make the same mistake again. I'm not saying I'm not going to live in Vietnam, but at least want to know like what spicy is, what pork is, what chicken
Yeah.
is, fish.
You got to know. You don't want to be that tourist who just goes and just assumes everybody speaks English. You know, that's why
Pointing
they
at
don't like
pictures
people
and
like us. Exactly.
yeah,
Well, keep in mind, they actually have a menu for foreigners and one for the locals.
yeah. But the
With,
best
with
places
increased
probably don't have the
prices.
English stuff there. Yeah. Same here in Korea.
Don't go to the best places. You got to go to the hole in the walls.
Yeah.
Don't go to the tourist places.
Yeah.
Or
Like
befriend a local. That's what I would always do. I'd always befriend a local every
mm,
single time and always get the local discounts.
with sports, like if I was to have kids or if I could do my life again, I played
Yeah.
too many sports, and when I should have picked a sport, like maybe, all the sports I was good at, but not great at. Like tennis, I was pretty good at. Soccer, I was okay at. Hockey, I was pretty good at, and it's quite in Australia, it's quite a big sport. But
Mhm.
I needed to focus. So if I was to have a kid and they get to that age, I'll be like, I think my dad did try to tell me this, like, you need to focus on one sport, but I just like playing all the sports. And I should have just picked one and just focused on one. So yeah, that's probably one little regret of my childhood, is not picking one sport and focusing on it. Yeah. So
Hmm.
if I have a kid, I like, what sport do you like at a certain age, and just like let's focus on that one. Yeah, I think you can
Yeah.
still do other sport. Like it's good to be cross sport skills, but yeah, that's something I
I mean, if
regret.
Sophie wanted to do like boxing or like Taekwondo, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think she'd be so cute doing her little
My
like
town here,
ponytails.
they're obsessed with Taekwondo. All the kids do Taekwondo here. All of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
All my students show up in their little outfits. They're adorable.
Mm,
It's the cutest thing. Could be pricey though. I did Taekwondo here about 10 years ago. Like
yeah.
my first or second year here.
Yeah.
I got as far as an orange belt. And let me tell you, nothing's better than breaking a couple boards with your fist. It's
So
very empowering.
we're sort of going on the subject of raising kids here in Korea, but in
Yeah, it's
Korea,
all
if you
right.
don't know, like these kids, they go to school during the day, and then they got hug one after hug one after hug one to maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. And they do, I don't know what it's like in your town, but most of them do here. They do Taekwondo, they do piano, then they do maybe a math hug one or a science hug one or an art hug one. And some that do a ballet hug one. Some of the girls do ballet here. I don't know what type of hug ones your kids go to. So they just do this. I consider this as also babysitting, because parents are still at work until 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock. Sometimes
Yes.
grandma is available, so some of those kids get to go home a bit earlier. But
Right. I
majority
didn't
of
realize
them,
that
majority
elementary
of them
schools.
are
Yeah.
needing babysitting slash putting into schools to entertain them, train them, give them skills. Yeah. I think most of it's babysitting.
Most because schools, I think they end like at 12 o'clock. They're only in
Yeah.
school from like
Yeah.
8 to 12 or 9 to 12. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Like our kindergarten program ends at 2. So
Same.
what professional job finishes at 2? So like they can stay at our school for daycare, which is, I don't think it's very expensive, but they can stay for daycare. But a lot of them go on to other hug ones, science, math, like I just said, or taekwondo, like the girls are doing ballet. Yeah. So it's interesting how they're raising with kids here. I used to go home at 3 o'clock and just play.
Oh, good for you. No, me too. Especially elementary school. Elementary school, I would do that. Or we would have to go to not daycare, but it was kind of those aftercare basic things.
Yeah.
Because again, my parents work, so I would always be like the last kid to get picked up.
Yeah.
I'd be the only one like looking out the window, waiting for my mom to pick me up.
Yeah.
That was me.
What about what's it like getting kids into school here? Like, do you think your kids are going to go to elementary school here or in America? Or don't know, or off the
We're
topic?
going to enroll her. Yeah, we're going to enroll her in the US.
Yeah. I
We'll
don't
stay here until she's ready to go to first grade.
like in Australia, in some places, in some towns, you got to sign the kid up before they're even born to get into some schools, like elementary schools. Is it like that in
Yeah.
America? Yeah.
Well, we haven't faced it in the US. Well, no, I mean, probably maybe private schools, most likely. But even like audit Egypt's here,
Mm.
like we got super lucky because I guess not only is there like a list, but there's like this point system that parents need to have. We got points for one being multicultural family,
Mm.
and that's basically it. But now that we'll have two kids, Gianna, when he's old enough, he can actually enroll in Sophie's school. And then next year, Sophie will be going to a different school. She'll be actually going to the school that my wife went to when she was a child.
So
Yeah.
I guess my final question to you, Gia, as you're raising two kids in Korea, what would you say to people that, like a couple that's met here in Korea that about to have a baby? What's the couple of tips about having a kid here in Korea? What some advice do you have? Like maybe 2 or 3 tips you got?
Well, if you come from overseas, again, if
Yeah.
you're in a situation, you're gonna be okay. I mean,
Yeah.
as an American, I remember, I'll just say this now, like the government will help you because there was a low decline in birth rates. Like the fact that we got 2 kids now, we'll have like monthly stipends. Like the
I
government
heard it's
is
a
really
massive
extremely
decline in
grateful.
population. Yeah. I
Massive.
read it today actually. Like the
Yeah.
baby count from last year, it was, yeah, like it's huge. The decline
Mhm.
of population is massive. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'll get up to, again, up to a year paternity leave for
Yeah,
both
that
mother
sounds
and
awesome.
father, right?
Yeah.
And you're just taking care of that. It's unheard of in the US. In US,
Yeah.
you get nothing, right? Nothing. The richest country in the world, you get nothing because that's considered socialism, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. So, but no, you are in good hands here. Everything's very, very easy. Both my children now, they got their passports, their Korean passports,
Yeah.
super quick. That's all. Once you get through all the red tape and all the bureaucracy, you're really in good hands.
Yeah.
Everything is, yeah. They even send you a cake. We got a cake for Giano. The
Yeah.
government sent us a cake as a thank you. Yep. And like a box of like Pampers and diapers and some formula and stuff. So a lot of goodies packages. But that's it. I think Korea is again one of the best places to raise a child up to
Mm.
elementary school.
The
Because
health
once you're in
system's
elementary school,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's really
What
nice. And
happens like if you're not working, like if you didn't weren't a teacher, what is the health system very quickly? Like if you and your wife aren't working, there must be what is the health system in Korea, do you know?
the health system, like the NHI, the
Yeah.
health insurance,
Yeah.
I don't. You have to pay obviously
Yeah.
separate. It would just be private insurance. Everything would be paid out of pocket. But I think still it was probably like $80 a month,
Yeah.
$100, something
But,
silly.
mm.
Back home, I was paying like $500 to $1,000 a month.
A month.
A month. I was
Holy
paying
moly.
and I had a job. I had $1,000 a month just for a family package. That's if we even got sick. So $12,000 a year I had to pay just to pay it, just to have insurance.
Yeah.
Not even including the co-pays when visiting the hospitals, not including the minimum I had to pay. I think I had to pay like 15,000 out of pocket before the insurance can even cover me.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at
adios, USA. Yeah.
travel health insurance. It's looking about $50 a month. Looks like 40 to 50.
Oh, that's cute. That's really nice.
But I think
So,
I have to get. You have to get it. Yeah. Like half of me is like, do I risk it for the biscuit? But nah, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. There's so much crap
Yeah.
going on right now. You just gotta get it. I think so. Yeah.
That's understandable.
But yeah, cool. Thanks, Gio, for sort of giving a little insight to your private life. And we're talking about raising kids, our father. I'm excited to see my dad in August, November.
Yeah,
how
I'm
he
gonna
is.
see my dad in October. I bought my tickets. I booked them over the weekend. So my family and I will be heading home October after 2 years. So
all right. So
see you soon, Dad. Miss you.
follow us on Facebook, 4 from 1 Instagram. We're all there. We're posting more stuff. 4 from 1 Instagram, Facebook, and maybe YouTube too. All right. Later, guys.
See you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.